Hi, my name is Noel with Northeastern Martial Arts. We are doing a series of videos on the katas that we teach in our karate program here. It's an Okinawan karate kata. It's an Ishinryu is the style. And this kata is called Seisan. It's the third kata in the series that we teach the juniors. And for the teens and adults, it's actually their first kata that they learn. There's over 140 moves here, so it's a bit lengthy. I'm going to go at it kind of a medium pace, so I won't be going real fast. I want you to be able to see this. We're doing this primarily for our students so that they can watch the kata and have a record of it when they're at home practicing. And this is called, again, Kata Seisan. And that is Kata Seisan. All right, when I started the kata, after we do that beginning protocol with Yosame, Kyosuke, Rei, and so on, we start the kata out from a ready stance, or set stance rather, not ready, but set stance. The hands, for beginners and for young people, we have them bring their hands to chamber and then come across the body. Normally for the adults, especially the more experienced students and adults, teens and adults, I like to have you do the cover, because that's really what's going on here. Is I'm bringing my hands up at the same time, covering my body as I circle step forward, and then I side block, and then continue the counter, which is a straight punch. Also, when we get to after the third punch, we bring our hands to chamber. I call this weird chamber just because it only happens a couple times on all the kata that we do. But basically, you've got the right hand on top, you're looking to the corner, and you shuffle. My feet are facing towards the front. They're in Seisan position, which for us is a parallel stance. And basically all I'm doing is I'm just shuffling to the corner, keeping my feet oriented towards the front. So from weird chamber here, I come up and I do a double block. When my hands come up, I'm blocking with the muscle, not with the ulna bone. And when the hands come up, I want to have my hands basically in such a position that I can maybe get a piece of paper, a sheet of paper between the hands. They don't cross each other and I don't leave a big gap. They're pretty much in alignment with each other, but they're offset. One is up higher than the other. When I turn around, we are doing these pass-off blocks. We do a series of them. So I'm going to kind of orient myself, and hopefully I won't confuse you. I'm going to turn 180 degrees here. But after we do this block here, we're going to pivot on our left foot, and our hands are in front of our chest in a juji or cross position. We're going to block down, and then I cover my body here as I block and bring this hand up. This hand goes down in a shuto format, and this basically is bent wrist with palm facing up. I reach out and I bring it back. Now where I start is pretty much where I would be for a side block. A side block is basically at a 90-degree angle, fist width away from the midsection. The fist is basically about even with my shoulder. In this particular block, it's an open hand block. We're blocking this way. When I reach out and bring it back, I don't grab a hold. I'm feigning a grab, but there's just a gentle curve to the hand as I bring it out. I bring it back, and the wrist is relatively straight, but I start from here and I end here. A lot of times new students will block and they'll bring it way back here, and that's not correct. We want to block here, bring it out, and bring it back. And we do a series of 3 of those. After that, we then turn. If I was had started the kata facing that way, I'd be turning and doing my block, punch, punch, kick, punch. We do that 3 times. And basically the gist of that is I'm in a Seisan stance. Both feet are parallel, one in front of the other, making sure that front knee stays bent. My hands are stacked in chamber. I do the side block, punch, punch. And again, I'm directing the energy through my top 2 knuckles. So I block, punch, punch the solar plex, kick to the groin, punch the solar plex. And then my hands would go into chamber. I look, and then I do. If I started from this direction, if I'm basically doing the series of 3 pass-off blocks looking your way, I would be turning, side block, punch, punch, kick, punch. I finish that up. I look, I turn, side block, punch, punch, kick, punch. Then I look, and then of course I do the 3rd and final block, punch, punch, kick, punch. And then the arm break is really, there's a way to break an arm in terms of the bunkai or the application of this movement. I want you to think of it though initially in terms of breaking their grip. Someone's grabbed my hand, I'm breaking their grip. So all I'm doing on this is a lot of times students think there's a lot more movement to this when there isn't. All I'm doing is from a Seisan posture, I'm just pivoting on my right foot. That heel pivots, I turn the foot out. So now my feet are in a perpendicular angle to each other, 90-degree angle. So here they're parallel, and all I do is I make that back foot perpendicular. I do not move this foot whatsoever, and this foot just turns out. That's it. Real simple. Boom. Now, if you've got a very narrow Seisan, it's not going to feel right. If it's too wide or shallow, you're going to be not correct. You want to have your feet equidistant away from your center. Okay? So that's the first arm break. We're going to be doing 4 of those. They're all done the same way, except numbers 2 and 4 are with the right arm forward. 1 and 2, or actually, excuse me, 1 and 3 have the left arm forward. After we do the first arm break, as well as the second, your hands are in chamber. You're in cat stance or nekodachi. You're going to come up into a reverse cat. So sideways, it looks like this. 1, 2, and I do a head block. From there, I do a nose bob or back fist. When I come back, it's important that you bend this wrist. Don't keep it here, but bend it. Someone's trying to grab you, you're weakening their grip. We then set down, we step over. Now this could be, if we were working bunkai or application of the movement, this could be a heel push kick and then into the stance. You can do that in the kata if you want to embellish, but essentially for testing, all we need you to do is just set this heel down and then step across, locking your knees momentarily, kick to the groin, downward block punch, and then in this case would be my second arm break. After we do 3rd arm break, you'll notice that I took a little bit different stancing. I went to the cat stance after the 3rd arm break, so let me do the 3rd arm break here. It's 1, I draw back. From here I'm going to step into Zenkutsu. Now, Zenkutsu, if you think of my opponent being here, I'm slightly blading my body rather than be straight on with a Seisan. Zenkutsu is a parallel stance, but it's bladed 45-degree angle. So all you do to get a Zenkutsu is you go from a Seisan to a 45-degree angle, and now you've created a Zenkutsu dachi. So from here, it's head block, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 4th and final arm break. Let me do that again. So from here, I'm in cat stance. I just did my 3rd arm break, right? I draw back, I step into Zenkutsu, head block, nose bob, downward block, punch the solar plex, arm break, and then from after you do the 4th arm break, you're going to come back, hands in chamber. I'm in a wide cat stance. So instead of regular cat, it's wide. I open hand side block, and then the reason I'm in wide is when I set my pivot on my right ball of my foot, on the right foot, the ball of foot on the right foot, and have my feet parallel, it just is very natural. If I was here, I'd have to set down and step out. So we're in wide cats, more stable, open hand side block, set, both feet point straight ahead. I kick to the groin, punch to the solar plex, hands in ready stance. I bring them to the obi, to the chambers. Break as I set down my weight with that heel. Bring it up, and we bow out. And that's the Kata Seisan. Thanks for joining us, and have fun practicing.